So it was time to toss out the old rickety rack in favor of a fresh new intact test bench, and Lian offered up a Strimer of hope for it to be just as flashy as well. Truth is, our old acrylic test bench just hasn't held up well since the move. In fact, you actually have to attach a graphics card to the test bench just to hold it together. It's not even for the card's benefit anymore. But when moving everything over to the Lian PC T70X test bench, our Lian supplied Strimer showed up. So I was a bit skeptical, to say the least. I mean, I'm personally not the biggest RGB guy out there. I know I have RGB stuff everywhere, but outside of like demos, I leave it set to a static color and call it a day. But I was willing to give this one a shot over on the test bench rather than my personal workstation. So the Strimer comes packaged well enough, with all of its parts individually wrapped. The silver braided 24-pin extension cable is really nice, like really nice. The Rgb implementation is actually a clever design, with the light emitting section at one end, presumably hidden by your case being behind the back panel, so you're going to want to make sure you have plenty of mounting space behind the motherboard tray to fit it. Now this area shoots the light through clear tubes that light up with uniformity before terminating at the motherboard side of the 24-pin connector. So yeah, the whole thing is pretty bulky, and if you have to put a tight bend on it, it's going to take some time to train the cables properly to keep them from bunching up. Now it also comes with a nice controller for the addressable RGB for those of you like me who don't have a motherboard with an ARGB header on it. Now this comes in the form of a PCI expansion card. Now take that for what you will, but I welcome it, rather than a loose controller inside the case that you have to mount somewhere, or even an external mounted controller, or even one with like remote controls and stuff. So the riser card is powered through SATA. Now thank you for that, Lian. And the RGB head, or the addressable RGB header rather, coming off the extension cable features a pass-through, so you can control other ARGB elements with the same controller to keep things in sync. Now I have to admit the pricing surprised me. I expected it to be outrageous, but coming in at around $40, it's really not a bad option for those looking to spruce up their build. You may love or hate RGB, but this thing is pretty wild. So at this point, I'll leave you with the rest of the video showing you various patterns. So, this has been Keith with WCCF Tech TV, and we'll catch you all in the next one.